Alright everyone, the last video was just a short explanation about myself, a little bit of a raw introduction into the application, and this video is more going to be jumping right into it, just giving you guys a preview. Um, since the tutorials, I made a change, and that's going to be the ongoing thing. This is literally still in development, just tightening things up. It will work, it will help you tell a story, but at this point I'm just adding improvements, things that I feel is crucial to help improve the experience. So the one thing I added that you will not see in the tutorial is I gave you the ability to duplicate a story. Literally just did this morning because I wanted to start creating stories and posting them using the application. I realized I needed the ability to duplicate a story because I don't want to destroy what I already got going. So these are stories I kind of developed in testing the application. Um, this one's more, some things are I'm taking more serious than others. This one's this is my brainchild. This is my baby. This is something I've been working on since I was literally a child. 44 years old now, so it's a long time I've been developing this story in the back of my head. So this is my dream, my bread and butter, my passion. It's gonna be the most important story that I write or complete with this application. This one actually is started off as a test story that I was gonna use to help explain the application. I was gonna create it and actually have that be the ongoing example as you use the application instead of Wizard of Oz, which is currently what's the ongoing example as you use the application. I was going to replace it with a story that's actually about storytelling. That was the plan, but I didn't complete it yet. And I figured, you know what, instead of, just creating it and then adding it within the application afterwards, I said, let me leave it as it is, which the story of the Wizard of Oz as the ongoing example, and actually develop this live. So this is a story we're going to be working on. It's a story that I hope still will turn out being interesting, but it's actually in a inception way. It's actually a story about uh, telling a story. So essentially, the main character is going to be a storyteller, and they are in also creating or involved in the application that uses AI to tell stories. So it's weird. It's interesting. My first interesting idea I'm going to share with you guys is it's actually based on this application. So, and the idea is to create the story in a way that demonstrates how the application works, because the plot is actually based on uh, this whole process, this whole application creation, but it's actually the whole twist on it is that it's based on more in the future where my future dreams for this application would be realized. So I actually have some really great dreams for this application. My dream is that it will get to the point, I guess, blow up to the point where you could experience it in VR, and you could create a story, create a world, and step into it, and continue telling the story actually within the story, engaged within the story if you wanted to partake in being one of the characters. So that's like a future dream of mine, is where I want to develop this story to become this story app to become one day. And because I know how much of a tall order that is, and you know, it's not going to be something easy to complete, and it's definitely a future project to push this to the next level, because I know it's something I can't do now. I said, well, this is a perfect opportunity to tell a story about it. So that's the whole premise, is a story based off of the idea that there's an application you could create a story and step into it and become part of the story. And that is actually going to be the plot of the story. Um, and we're going to develop that here live. This is going to be the first story we actually develop. This is a personal project of mine. We'll see if we'll complete it um, in this platform, YouTube, on this platform, or I just keep it as a secret till it's done. I haven't decided yet, but this for sure will be the first uh, actual story we work on, the first one I develop using this application, from beginning to end. So whatever, however long it takes, if it takes a month, if it takes a year, we're going to complete this. Oh, I'm going to complete this. And if more people join and get interested, yeah, we could help complete this together. But it will demonstrate how this application works, and hopefully along the way you would actually get invested in the creation of the story itself, and seeing it to its completion. That'll be a journey within itself. So yeah, this is to let you guys know we're going to be working on story of story. I already started this story, but I'm going to start it over again, and we're going to start it from scratch. So I already have some ideas of how I want this story to go, as I explained just now, and that's what's going to make this kind of helpful to be the first story. But yeah, the idea is after this is completed, um, maybe we'll do a story from scratch, and where nothing is understood about it, the story name, the plot, anything. That'll be fun to just come up with something from scratch. Another story I want to develop is something that AI will complete using my complicated structure on its own. So we're just gonna, basically it's choose your own adventure. That'll be fun too. That's another fun way of exploring how this application works, because each step of the way the AI is gonna be the one coming up with the suggestions, and we as the audience is gonna be just choosing it, as opposed to having a story in mind already and develop it using the application. This is going to be more so, let's see what um, where we end up. And that'll be a real fun adventure. Maybe I'll do both simultaneously. Maybe I'll do this and that version story, and that's it. These are other story ideas that I started getting. We'll see if we'll get back to it. I have a lot of story ideas, so I don't know how long this list is going to get, but definitely plan to complete every single one of them here on the YouTube channel as well. So that's it. This video is to tell you guys that we are going to start working on story of story, and who knows, maybe we'll change the title later, but that is what the story is about. So it's about the story of telling stories. There's going to be a protagonist, there's going to be a plot, but you're also going to learn a lot of things. You're going to learn how to tell a story in general. You're going to learn how to use this application if you follow along, so you could start your own project, and you get to enjoy to see what this develops into. Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? It's going to be interesting. I have a strong feeling it's going to be interesting, and you get to see my creative thought process throughout the whole thing from scratch. That's going to be fun. So let's enjoy this journey, starting to work on this. So first thing I'm going to do is use the feature I just added. Hopefully it doesn't break, but I tested it already. It should be good. We're going to duplicate this so I don't ruin what I already have. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And boom. Now we have a copy, story of stories, and we're going to work on this one. All right. I'll probably edit the first thing. One of the first things I'm going to do when we actually start this story is figure out whether I should just name this 2 or revised, or maybe call this old. That's probably a good idea. So let me do that. Like I said, you're listening to my thought processes live and seeing how the application works. So I'm just gonna call this old version. All right, save that. Alright, so we don't get confused, and we're going to edit the title here. Just take off copy. That's it. That's the first thing we're going to do. You just saw some of the features, how to use this page here live, real time. You could delete if you want. You already just saw how to edit the title. You saw how to duplicate it. And now we're going to go into the story. But I have automatic tutorials turned on, so that's another thing you're gonna see, the settings option here. Um, yeah, that was a mistake. Let's back up here. Go back to the dashboard. All right, so um, yeah, so this setting here, you could turn on and off the automatic tutorials. Um, and those are the tutorials that pop up automatically. I already explained that. The tutorials explain that. I'm going to turn it off here for this story. Okay, so, or in general. So, yeah, I got to save that. All right, and that's how that works. So now, once we go into the story, we don't have to worry about tutorials popping up. And because I already started it, it's already down here into this input, um, which is some ways along in the story process already. And this is a duplicate of the other one that I started, so that's why it's already so far into the process. But we're actually going to start over. So we're going to go back to the first input, story concept. That's the way you could just jump anywhere into the application. Just a quick review. These are the 3 phases we talked about earlier. Helps you develop your story, helps you act it out in real time, helps you choose the adaptation, right? And we are currently here in phase 1 within story concept. That's part of this input group, which is part of this group prerequisites, which is part of foundation, which is part of phase 1. I know it looks complicated, but this all simplifies the process of you telling the story. Really, all you have to do is just click next if it's too complicated for you. If this navigation panel isn't clear just yet, you literally just click next. When it starts, it actually starts all the way from the beginning and explains to you what these phases are, right? What all these groups are. There's a quick overview in the tutorials, and it automatically plays, so you don't have to find the video. But because I already started the whole process, there's no need for those videos, so we're just going to jump right into it and start on the story. And this is the input we're starting with, story concept, and this is where we will start. So in the next video, I'm going to start at this point and start developing the story concept, the very first input for story of story. Yep. And follow me while we create a story, while I create a story. And if you guys get interested, maybe you could join in and give some input. Hope I didn't bore you too much, but yeah, this is the first input in developing this story. Let's do it together. Take it easy. Signing out.